Right now, you're probably sitting down. You didn't think about it. You just sat. You've done it thousands of times today, without a single conscious decision. But here's what nobody tells you. The chair you're sitting on is one of the most unnatural things the human body has ever encountered. And for 99% of human history, almost nobody sat in one. Let's start with a number. 80%. That's the percentage of people in the modern world who will experience significant back pain at some point in their lives. It's the number one cause of disability globally. More than heart disease, more than cancer. More people are debilitated by back pain than almost any other condition on earth. And we've built an entire industry around it. Ergonomic chairs, lumbar supports, standing desks, physical therapy, chiropractors, pain medication. We treat it like a mystery, like some cruel twist of biology that humans are just cursed with. But it's not a mystery at all. We did this to ourselves, and the evidence has been sitting right in front of us the whole time. The chair is older than you think. The earliest known chairs come from ancient Egypt, around 3000 BC, but they weren't for sitting the way we sit. They were thrones, symbols of absolute power. Only the pharaoh sat. Only the high priest sat. Everyone else stood, knelt, or sat on the floor. This wasn't a comfort preference. This was law. To sit elevated above others was to declare yourself their ruler. The word cathedral comes from the Latin cathedra, meaning the bishop's seat, a building named after a single chair. The word chairman exists for the same reason. The one person with the authority to sit while everyone else stood. In medieval England, most homes didn't have a single chair, not one. You sat on a stool, a bench, a chest, or the dirt floor. Chairs were so rare and powerful that owning one marked you as nobility. It wasn't until the Industrial Revolution, the 1800s, that chairs became cheap enough for ordinary people to own. Think about that. For nearly all of recorded history, sitting in a chair the way you're sitting right now was something only kings did. Now here's where it gets strange. In 2020, evolutionary anthropologist David Rachlin at USC published a study in the Proceedings of a National Academy of Sciences. He had spent years studying the Hadza people of Tanzania, one of the last hunter-gatherer groups on Earth, still living something close to the original human lifestyle. He strapped accelerometers to their thighs and measured exactly how much they moved and how much they rested. What he found surprised everyone. The Hadza sit down almost as much as we do, around 9 to 10 hours a day, same as the average American. But here's what's different. The Hadza don't have chairs. They don't have couches. When they rest, they squat. They kneel. They sit cross-legged on the ground. And Rachlin also measured their muscle activity while they rested. When a Hadza person squats, their leg muscles, back muscles, and core are in a state of low but continuous activation. The body is working just a little, just enough. When you sit in a chair, those same muscles go almost completely silent. Rachlin called this the inactivity mismatch hypothesis. The idea is simple. Your body evolved to rest in postures that kept your muscles gently engaged. Squatting, kneeling, sitting on the ground. And the Hadza almost never get back pain. So why does the chair cause so much damage? Here's the anatomy. Your spine has a natural S-curve. Two gentle arcs, one in the lower back, one in the upper, that distribute the weight of your body evenly across your vertebrae. That curve took millions of years to develop. It's one of the defining features of the human skeleton. When you sit in a chair at 90 degrees, that S-curve flattens. The weight of your entire upper body, about 40% of your total mass, collapses onto your lower lumbar discs. The muscles that were supposed to hold you switch off. Your hip flexors tighten. Your glutes forget how to fire. Your pelvis tilts backward. Your lower spine rounds into a C. And you hold this position for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, every single day, for years. It's not that sitting is bad. Humans rest. We've always rested. The Hadza rest for 10 hours a day. It's that the chair, specifically, removes the one thing that made resting safe for millions of years. Muscle engagement. The chair also changed something else. something nobody talks about. It changed how we move between rest and activity. When you squat or kneel, getting up is a movement. Your legs push. Your core engages. You shift your weight. You rise. There's no such thing as a passive transition. From rest to motion. In a chair, you melt. You collapse in and collapse out. The chair absorbs the work that your body was supposed to do, and so your body stops doing it. Over time, the muscles responsible for stabilizing your spine weaken. The tendons around your hips tighten. Your range of motion narrows. Scientists at Harvard estimate that the way we now live causes 83% of all back pain. Not genetics, not age, the way we now live. And at the center of how we now live is the chair. There's an even older clue. If you've ever watched a toddler play, you've seen it. A 2-year-old will drop into a deep squat to pick something up off the floor. Back straight, hips below knees, completely stable, perfect form, effortless. By the time that same child is in school, sitting at a desk 6 hours a day, the squat is already starting to disappear. By adulthood, most people in the West physically cannot hold a deep squat for more than a few seconds. A movement so natural that every human is born with it has been slowly trained out of us. Not by age, not by injury, by furniture. Here's the part that should unsettle you. We knew, or at least some people did, as early as the 1960s. Researchers were publishing papers on the postural damage caused by chairs. In 1985, orthopedic surgeon Alf Nachemson published data showing that sitting in a chair puts more pressure on the lumbar spine than standing, more than standing. Sitting, the thing we invented for comfort, is harder on your back than just being upright. We had this information, and we responded by designing better chairs, not fewer chairs, not different postures, better chairs. We added lumbar support. We added armrests. We added adjustable height levers and breathable mesh backs. The ergonomic chair market is now worth over $15 billion a year. We are spending billions of dollars to make slightly less terrible, something that was never supposed to be part of human life. For 300,000 years, your ancestors never sat in a chair. They squatted by fires. They knelt on the ground. They sat cross-legged on dirt floors. Their muscles stayed gently active, even at rest. Their backs didn't degenerate the way ours do. The archaeological record shows this. Spinal deterioration linked to chair sitting is almost entirely absent in skeletons before the industrial age. Then we invented affordable furniture. Then we built offices. Then we built schools with desks. Then we built cars to sit in on the way to the offices and schools. And within a few generations, back pain became the most common cause of disability on the planet. We didn't discover a disease. We manufactured one, piece by piece, leg by leg. We just called it a chair. And tonight, you're going to go home, sit on your couch, and not think about any of this. Because the chair is everywhere. It's in every room, every office, every car, every classroom. It is the architecture of modern life. You were handed one on your first day of school, and you've barely stood up since. The pharaoh had a chair to show everyone in the room that he was above them. Now we all have one. And somehow, that turned out to be exactly as bad for us as it sounds.